It was gapping up 126%. 126% pre-market. That is a really big gap. The leading gapper was CODX, gapping up 138% on 3.7 million shares of volume. So both of these two stocks were on my watch list this morning. TWMC, I was watching over the pre-market high. So this is straight out of Chapter 6 and Chapter 7 of the Warrior Pro course, the break of pre-market high. All right, now the break of pre-market high is up there at 575, but I thought this looked like a little bit of a pre-market pivot down here at about 550. The bell rings, and it actually opened a little lower. It opened down here at 477, and as it started to surge up, as soon as I saw green on the level 2, I started pressing the buy button to get in for the break of 5. So I jumped in as it started to squeeze up, and this thing, it rips through the pre-market high of 550, straight up to $6.66. Then it goes to $7.60. Then it goes to $8.60, and it hits a high of $9.72. Are you kidding me? From 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to $9 a share. So yeah, I made $20,000 on this stock. I mean, this thing ripped $5 a share. I didn't even need to take big size for that to happen, for that win to happen, right? Unfortunately, you can't predict these. This ends up being kind of my bailout for the month. The market bailed me out, thank goodness, and I'm grateful for that. But you can't depend on this every single day. This is these happen every now and then. It certainly happened on NNVC on Tuesday, and remember, I missed this entire trade. Now, this wasn't nearly as no, that's not it. NNVC was not well. I guess it was. Let's just refer to the chart. So NNVC squeezes up on 5 circuit breaker halts. Now, the momentum didn't start on this one until about 9:45, and it wasn't on the watch list. It wasn't a gapper, and it didn't have news. So that threw me off, and I didn't end up jumping into it going into the first halt or coming out of the second because I thought the volume is so light, I don't know if I can trust it. Well, it ends up, as you can see here, going from 450, 550, 650, 750, all the way here to a high of 748. It then pulls back and then curls and ends up ripping all the way back up to $13, which was crazy. So a lot of strength there on NNVC, which is certainly nice to see, and I totally missed it. I felt so much FOMO. I felt so frustrated. So today on TWMC, I wasn't compensating for FOMO. I really was very focused just on I'm going to trade in my IRA account. I'm going to take a quick trade at the break of the pre-market high, and I'm going to take my profit off the table, and I'm not going to overstay my welcome. But as it turns out, as soon as I got in, it rips up from $50 to $6, $5.50 to $6 to $6.50, and it's like, okay, now I'm in the driver's seat. Now all I have to do is hold it and let it ride. And it's so that ended up being a easy trade, a base hit setup that turned into a home run, and every now and then you get those, and this happened to be a time that I really needed it. But of course, I also had some trades earlier this week that were pretty bad. So today, after this pullback, I started kind of thinking, okay, well, what's the next one that's going to show strength? And then I remind myself, on Tuesday, I bought the next one that showed strength, and I lost $12,000 on it. The next one that showed strength squeezed up, got halted, then came all the way down, and I got smoked. So then I started thinking, maybe be a little careful. And so on trade 2 NNVC, ended up going red on it. I didn't get killed on it, but I went red. I took 2 trades on NNVC. My first trade was on this 1-minute pullback right here, and I lost $1,200. And then it curls back up, and I got back in right here, and I made back $600 with smaller share size. Okay. Jan hits the high day momentum scanners. I jumped into it, ended up being a false breakout. Should have left it alone, but I saw news. I saw a decent daily chart history of former runner. I jumped in for the break of 4. It hit 410, and then flushed back down, stopped out down here. All right, so took my loss on that one. And the last one was KLDO. That was my biggest loss of the day. On this one, it was kind of a silly trade, but I had seen it on the scanners earlier. It was a gapper, pulled back, squeezed up right here. I almost jumped into it, but left it alone. And then as it curled up right here, and then it does this pullback right through here, I'm long, and then I stopped out as it flushed down here, which doesn't look like a big stop, but it actually was a good 30-cent drop. So, you know, that's, again, maybe poor choice, and maybe I would be better off if I had not taken those, but it's okay for me to give back $3,000 when I'm up, 23 grand for the potential that if we continue to see momentum, that I'll be able to, I'll be able to continue to kind of ride that momentum and turn a $23,000 day into 25, 27, 28, 30, etc. So, so that's where I'm going to sit here. And, back to TWMC. This one, broke through the VWAP, flushed down right here, dropped down, came back up through the VWAP. I got back in it right here for the break over the VWAP. And then it broke, but it didn't hold that level, and it came back down. So it's starting to get a little choppy, and I don't want to overstay my welcome on it. But this is a much needed green day. I'm not sure where it's going to put me on the month, and again, it's not for me at this point really worth looking at because it doesn't change. What does that change? If I see that this put me flat on the month instead of green, am I going to feel a little annoyed? Probably. Right? I'll be like, man, that awesome win, and all it does is bail me out of those stupid losses that I had earlier in the month. That's really disappointing. If it puts me up 5,000 on the month, then what do? I think, well, I'm still 15, 20,000 for my goal, so I've got to have another day like this. Yeah, I just don't need to do that. And this is kind of the thing that we all do. We all keep this, we all have this internal kind of meter or accounting of where we stand in our P&L on the day, on the week, on the month, on the year, on our career, and it can sometimes create emotional baggage around your trades to the point where you're trading based on that number, not based on the market you're in. You're trading because, oh man, I've got to get back this amount. I've got to hit this amount this month, because if I don't, what does that mean? It means my record is tarnished, or it means my, I'm not hitting what I said I needed to hit in order to continue this career. Whatever it is, it just carries this emotional baggage. And I want to try to separate myself from that as much as possible, knowing that that's easier said than done, considering every single day I come in here, at the end of the day, I have a number sitting right in front of me of what I made or lost. But something I stopped doing in November of this past year was I stopped keeping a calendar on my desk of all of the days filled out. And I'm not saying that it's not helpful to spend some time, periodically going into your metrics, whether it's in the sim or you're trading with real money, and to look back at your stats. It's very important to do that. But I don't think it's helpful to do that on, let's say, like a day-to-day basis, or every single morning where you sit down, you're looking at that calendar and asking, saying, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? So I'll just show you, for example, here.